ಹಲೋ ಭಾರ್ಗವ್ ಸರ್. ಹಾ ಸರ್, ನೀವಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ? ಹಲೋ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
Hello, I'm just checking my audio. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay.
ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗ.
ಓಕೆ
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Am I audible? This is just to check my audio and video.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you so much. Tilak sir, good evening. Sir, good evening. Namaskar.
Yeah, namaskar.
Namaskar. Long time. Good to see you.
After long time. Am I audible enough?
Yeah, you're audible. Absolutely audible.
Because it is intermittently raining very heavily over here, so network may be having some problem. Okay, I have no issue.
Not a problem.
I just don't want to take any chance, so I got connected bit early. Okay, whenever you want, I'm there. Don't worry.
Maybe around 7:15 or so, sir. 15 minutes we'll have a video.
No problem at all. No problem at all. So I'm there. Till that time, I'll be doing something else. But I'm connected. Don't worry. Okay, go ahead with your schedule. No issue.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, namaste, and a very warm welcome to the third event of the Alumni Reconnect organized by the PES University, Bangalore, Karnataka. As N.R. Narayanamurthy has correctly said, nobody is bothered about an institution than its alumni. The success of any school or institution can be measured by the contribution of its alumni to the nation. And we at PES family are indeed proud that we have had our alumni branching out like a tree in different directions of life, but connected together by our roots and significantly contributing to the different walks of life. At this juncture, many memories, faces, songs come to our mind. College life is just not a memory, it's a feeling, it's a passion, a smile that brings to our face when we think of our institution, our campus, our friends, our teachers, the canteen, the laughs, the competitions, the silly fights, the patch ups. All these seems to be like yesterday. During the last 50 glorious years, hundreds of thousands of young men and women have graduated from the University of PESU, and PESU have helped and nurtured them to realize their dreams. Let's once again have a look at our PES University and all the institutions that are coming under its umbrella. Namaste and a very warm welcome to all of you to the third program of the Alumni Reconnect, a talk by Sri Chandrashekhar Tilak on Indian capital market. As N.R. Narayanamurthy has correctly said, nobody is bothered about an institution than its alumni. The success of any school or an institution can be measured by the contribution of its alumni to the alma mater and also to the nation. And we at PES family are indeed proud that we have had our alumni branching out like a tree in different directions of life, but connected together by our roots and significantly contributing to different walks of life. College life, as we know, is just not a memory. It's a feeling, a passion, a smile that brings to our face when we think of the institution, our friends, teachers, canteens, the laughs, the silly fights, the patch-ups. All these seems to be like yesterday. During the last 50 glorious years, hundreds of thousands of young men and women have graduated from the university, and PESU has helped and nurtured them to realize their dreams. During the Golden Jubilee year, we wish to get in touch with all our alumnus through different chapters all across the globe. It is with this idea in mind that PES has started the alumni reunion with the motto, reunify, recreate, and rejoice. And to bring to your notice, this event is being live streamed on YouTube as well as our alumni page. So those who couldn't join us online can definitely see it on YouTube and also on our alumni page.
Prasanna, we are good to go. We have Honorable Vice Chancellor on the board.
Yes, ma'am. So next, I would like to invite an academician, a researcher, and the most methodical and the motivating person of PES University, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. J. Suryaprasad, Sir, for the welcome address. Sir, it's a pleasure to invite you. Over to you, sir.
Sir, we need to, sir, you are on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, good to
Am
go,
I
sir.
audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, madam. I think it's a huge pleasure. Just give me a second. I'll be back. Sir.
In the meanwhile, I would like to bring to your notice that this noble initiative was kickstarted with the Reconnect talks, where we saw an attendance of 350 plus alumni. And then we had Retro to Metro event where we saw 850 plus alumni coming to a music concert organized by the alumni themselves in the PESU campus. We would also like to remind you that we are organizing a very big grand event in July 2023, where we are looking forward to all our 24,000 plus alumni. And I request all of you, those who are listening to us, kindly register yourself at our alumni page. Please tell your friends, all your classmates, batchmates, bring them all so that we can all cherish those old memories together. Our Vice Chancellor, sir, is here. Our CEO, sir, is here. All our guests are here. We are indeed looking forward for this event to reconnect ourselves, come back to our alma mater and give it back to the alma mater as well as to the nation. Within a minute's time, our Vice Chancellor, sir, would be addressing all of you. We are indeed fortunate to have amongst us Sri Chandrashekhar Tilak, sir, former Executive Vice President at the NSDL, who is also a well-known Marathi author, poet, and a very popular face in the news channels across for budget-related and any other finance-related discussions. So we'll have him over. But before that, let me once again invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for the welcome address.
Apologies. I just had the Chancellor on the other line for a few things, so I had to kind of quickly take that. Again, it kind of, just been like yesterday when we had the first session and we had our chat about various alumni activity, the offline and the online and so on. So it's so exciting, to see the kind of response that we've got from the alumni. It's so heartening, with open hands, we welcome them all to not just this Golden Jubilee activity that's going to be there. We look forward to a longer association. I was talking to Dr. Shailashri also on the other day. There are going to be some activities which are going to be very similar to, I was just indicating even to our Mr. Vinay in the sports, that we're going to have like an IPL Cup, right? So alumni are going to come in and participate in cricket. That's going to be an annual affair, going to be done with the same kind of pompousness that's there, not just cricket, shuttle badminton. I think we want you back to your alma mater to see how it has grown since the time you've been here. I'm sure there are going to be some wonderful memories. We want you to reconnect to those wonderful memories and share those memories with your kids and grandkids in the years to come in terms of how it was, and not just share, just the virtual part of it. Get them here onto campus, show them where you were, and, let the pride of PES be with all of us. I'm eager and, looking forward to the speaker of today's deliberation, because a lot of us do not understand much between savings and investment. Over and beyond, someone who has kind of from the ground done some amazing things can surely share his experience and the thought that has been there, which can enrich our experience. So without much ado, thank you very much for participating. We want to see large numbers, being part of these various activities, not just this year round and just because it's Golden Jubilee, but over and beyond. I think PS has done a lot. We have loved you being a part of the organization in whichever program you were. We want to reconnect, rebuild, re-establish all those connections that are going to be there, which are without much ado. Thank you very much. Again, welcome. Thank you, madam. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. As you correctly pointed out, PES is looking forward for its alumni to reconnect. And that is exactly what our next speaker is going to speak to all of you. Our mentor, our pillar of strength of PES institutions, our beloved CEO of PES institutions, Professor Ajay Kumar, sir. He is the most proactive person amongst us, and he'll be sharing with us the alumni roadmap of PES. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anuradha. Sorry, people have to work with me on my car right here, right now. Could I go to the first slide, please? Yeah, so I think we just wanted to reiterate. I mean, we've been talking about the alumni meets and how we're going to connect. This already is our third installment in the last 1.5 months, I should say, when we started the concept of our 50-year celebration and trying to bring all the alumni together. I think in our ongoing effort to do that, I'm just going to take a few minutes to just remind people about the things that we have planned for them. Of course, we have this concept of a grand meet that is being held in July 1st and 2nd of next year. Then we have the awards where we are thinking about nominating, not thinking about, but we want you to nominate the alumni who have done a lot of contribution in their respective fields, whom we can bring them to the podium and honor. And we have a host of events that are being planned throughout the year per se. And of course, the concept of the initiation of chapters, and that has gone well. We want to continue to sort of nurture that and see how we can maintain some traction. Next, please. In the Grand Meet again, July 1st and 2nd. I mean, many of you must have already know about it, but we keep reiterating, and this will be like a broken record, which will keep coming back to you again and again. To ask you to help us reconnect and get these people registered and make sure your batchmates are there. I would love to see you there. There are a lot of things that are going to be planned for July 1st. So a lot of things are still in the works. There is certainly a black tie event and hopefully a good musical gala event being planned, and we'll see where that takes us. But please mark your calendars again. Next slide, please. July 2nd is again sort of the culmination for the grand event per se, which will sort of mark our 50 years as PS institutions. Hopefully try to bring all people from all different batches together and be able to honor them, be able to work with them, be able to spend some time with them and recreate that magic, I suppose, of how you guys can actively involve with PES and how we can be part of the growing young community that is with all the youngsters and all the juniors that you have. Next slide, please. Yeah, I think the one other thought process, many questions we've been getting in from the alumni is, what area should we nominate these alumni and what do you feel? I mean, is there a restriction and so on and so forth? There is no restriction of having only top 50 alumni in our talk the other day. In fact, Professor Jawar was mentioning about 50 alumni in the different areas, in 3 different areas of person's excellence and service he was talking about. But in any ways, as far as you people are concerned, you see this on the northwest side, there's a miscellaneous arrow. So anybody, as far as miscellaneous is concerned, and if you are able to you feel that he or she has done a significant contribution in an area, please nominate. Those nomination links are available online on our website, and a lot of links and a lot of social media links also have been sent out. Please nominate, and we would be more than happy to sort of take that up, and a committee will be coming together, put that in, and we'll be glad to have the alumni here so that we could truly felicitate them and thank them from the bottom of our heart. Next slide, please. Okay, again, communication. Again, we have all these social media channels. Please work with us on this. Next one. Next slide, please. Yeah, this one is the latest and the greatest offering as far as PESU ongoing events that is happening throughout the year per se is concerned. I hope I got. Did we lose the share? Anuradha, I'm seeing something.
Yeah, we will just check it back, sir. You can go ahead.
Okay, in any case, so I think the biggest thing that is what is happening in the last Saturday of this month is the ability for us to host alumni dedicated event per se. We are talking about cricket, football, badminton, IT squash, as a push-up challenge, and also throw ball. More details will follow, but we ask alumni to sort of participate in big numbers. There are different areas, and we will try to see if we can put some age groups in there so that all of you are not put in the same age group per se. But with that, I think the key will be for you to participate and help us out with reconnections and so on and so forth. So this is the big event that has been happening for 27th of August. So please register for that and participate. Would be more than happy to have you here, and really looking forward to your participation here. I think that's about it. We had the next slide. I know we are struggling with this share, but the next slide basically talked about the fact that having our alumni help us in reconnecting. Again, your WhatsApp groups, the other people that are there, your way that you could help us connect is very, very important. We have an alumni department. We have a place on alumni on campus, and also the chapters will be there per se. Next slide. I think the question is, again, register, nominate, and help us communicate with your folks, and then participate. And that's the mantra that we'll be coming to you with again and again with all our meets. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Without much ado, I'll call Mrs. Anuradha to continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful presentation. Like all of us here are dreaming that our alumni will definitely reconnect with the upcoming events, especially the PESU APL and all the grand events that we have planned in the year of 2023, July 1st and 2nd. We also have amongst us a senior professor and dean of student affairs, Dr. V.K. Krishna, sir. Welcome you, sir, for the event. Thank you for taking out your time and coming for this event. So today, this Alumni Reconnect, we have gathered here to listen to one of the multifaceted personalities of our times, Sri Chandrashekhar Tilak ji, who is the former Executive Vice President at the National Securities Depository Limited. He is also a well-known Marathi author, poet, and also a popular face in the news channels across for budget-related and finance-related discussions. He has several books published to his name, like Guntavanmukh Guru, Budgetary Measures, Arthasankalp Ani Bharatiya Arthavyavastha. He is also a recipient of various awards like CCOM Anand Bhatkamkar Award in 1999, Giants Award by the National Savings Organization, Kailash Bhai Mehta Seva Puraskar. And he's also have been delivering lectures for almost 24 plus years on annual budgets presented by the central government and has published more than 1,500 articles in leading periodicals on topics related to economics, finance, and investments. He is also a very popular person in terms of radio and TV programs. So without wasting any more time, let us invite and welcome Sri Chandrashekhar Tilak ji for addressing the audience on a very important topic, the Indian capital markets. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Right at the outset, I'm really thankful to the organizers for providing me this wonderful opportunity. Before I start with my topic proper, let me also express my sincere thanks for such a kind words of introduction, because such words do help a retired person to a great extent. And as far as today's scenario is concerned, the day which they have selected for such an Alumni Reconnect is really an auspicious one and a good one. Because in Maharashtra, as well as in many parts of our country, we are celebrating a Raksha Bandhan today. So it is one of the occasion when we get connected to the past memories as well as our objectives as far as our remaining life is concerned. And this topic for the day, that is Indian Capital Market 2022 and thereafter, I'm also getting reconnected to the alumni as far as my memories of Indian capital market is concerned. As Professor Dr. Anuradha Pai just now introduced me and said that I have been associated with Indian capital market for more than 35 years, whether it is Bombay Stock Exchange or the Securities Exchange Board of India or NSDL. Certainly it's a huge baggage. And based on the experience as far as the last 35 years are concerned, I'm trying to decipher. But right at the outset, let me tell you one thing, that whatever I'm going to express are going to be my personal views. Although I'm not associated with any organization in any formal capacity as of now, there is every likelihood that the data which I may present or the views which I may present may be based on my personal experiences. And you have every right to differ from them. Because if one thing which I have learned from the capital market since 1988, it is one thing, that unless and until there are two sides to the transaction, no one is able to buy the share at a given point of time at a given rate, unless and until there are the persons who are ready to the said share at the same point of time at the same rate. And unless and until there are differentiating viewpoints, such a transaction will not take place. Certainly in last 35 years or so, we have seen a huge transformation as far as the Indian capital market system is concerned. I still recollect those days when I was with BSE in the initial phases of the decade of 1990s. Virtually, we were begging across the world for the foreign institutional investors to invest in our country. Today, in 2022 August, when we are talking, the same foreign institutional investors are virtually belining us. Although there are few months like January to June 2022, when FIIs were net sellers, but all the great alumni of this great association would recollect that this particular trend has been reversed since July 2022. And especially since the advent of the current month of August 2022, our BSE Sensex in hardly in 8 calendar trading sessions have already shot up by more than 2,000 points. As of now, when the market closed today, BSE Sensex was at the end of 59,332, whereas NSE Nifty was on 17,659. Let me hasten to add that as I have cut my teeth in the Indian capital market with the Bombay Stock Exchange, and probably being brought up as a computer programmer with ICL UK, I'm more aligned with the BSE Sensex, that being my first job assignment as far as Indian capital market is concerned. So with your due permission, throughout my session, I would be extensively touching upon the point of a BSE Sensex rather than of NSE Nifty. And my overall session today, which is going to be a duration of 25 to 30 months, let me tell you one thing very clearly, that I would be more on a trends rather than the facts and the figures per se. And that's why, with a due permission, I would like to avoid making use of any PowerPoint presentations. If you are so happy with them, let me try that whenever I get opportunity some other time with you. As far as the current scenario of Indian capital market is concerned, it is a camouflage of various contradictory as well as complementary factors. Just take a classic example, that as far as last 15 to 20 days are concerned, we have witnessed two contrasting reports as far as Indian economy and Indian capital market is concerned. The first one was IMF cut down our GDP growth rate expectations from 8.2% to 7.4%. But in the same week, Bloomberg released a report which was based on the views expressed by more than 1,000 economists spread across the world. And all those 1,000, out of those 1,000 economists, more than 990 economists were of the opinion that if any country who is having the least chance as far as aggravation or acceleration of inflation and recession rate is concerned, that would be our country, namely India. Under such circumstances, you would have seen that probably because of the cause or the effect of these two reports, the FIIs have turned out to be a net buyers as far as last 21 trading sessions are concerned. I'm very much aware that the 21 days trading sessions is a very short period to consider. But if you see that the country which was having hardly a forex reserve sufficient to meet the import requirements of 3 weeks, much similar to what Sri Lanka is today, the same country is boasting today of more than $630 billion of a forex reserve. As such, it is certainly going to have a scenario. This is not only the single set as far as the conflicting factors are concerned. Many of you might have read into the newspapers that as far as the calendar month of July 2023 is concerned, the mutual fund industry of our country have seen a reduction to the tune of 43% as far as inflows are concerned. But paradoxically, within the same month, the asset under management for Indian mutual fund industry are peaking at a highest escalated rate as well as the escalated volumes are concerned. Because not only the Indian individual investors, not only the Indian institutional investors, but equally the foreign institutional investors as well as FPIs are turning their portfolio from small and mid cap to large cap as well as the blue chips are concerned. As the various other activities are taking place, probably this is the right time to take care of macro as well as the macros economic factors, which do have the direct or indirect impact on Indian capital market is concerned. Based on my experience of more than 35 years, whether it is in a policy or implementation, whether it is in an Indian economy, because as just now Dr. Anuradha Pai madam had told you, that I have been associated with the budget analysis programs since 1988. So 2023 is going to be a record-breaking year for me, because that would be 36th consecutive year as far as my budget analysis is concerned, and I will be breaking the record set by late Nanipal Kiwala in this regard. This was not to boost or push my CV over here, but certainly based on this continuous exercise of analyzing the budgetary trends, certainly I can say, or I can venture to say, that as far as the further movements of Indian capital market after 2022 is concerned, and especially in near future it is concerned, it is going to be determined and dictated more by eco-political and geopolitical factor than the eco-financial factors. Under such circumstances, these trends are being witnessed by Indian capital market since the advent of Corona. We have witnessed these kinds of examples even when the world was facing a crisis or a recession as far as the calendar year 2008 is concerned. the factor which has stood in favor in 2008 as well as in 2020 is certainly going to sustain its impact even in the years to come. Certainly, I'm talking about my population size and the geography of consisting of more than 140 crore population. So to a great extent, whether it is the small scale or a cottage industries production, one thing is very clear, that there are certain sufficient services and service providers, as well as the demand for the product and services, whatever my country is able to produce. So even if, because of the geopolitical reasons or the eco-political reasons, there are certain restrictions which may crop up from time to time, we might be henceforth dealing with from a position of a strength. Let me hasten to add that let us not try to have any political color or contour here into. I am very much consistent that as far as the current Indian capital market scenario is concerned, we are negotiating with them as far as the position of strength is concerned. I will give you a classic example. When Bloomberg said that India would be the least affected as far as the inflation rates or a recession rates are concerned, if I was going to take a pessimist view of this particular report, somewhere in a lighter vein, I would say that even otherwise my inflation rates within the country have picked up so much that there is very little room to do so. But given my surname being Tilak and my birth sign being Gemini, I can't be that pessimist. And after all, I have been married for the last 36 years. Many of you would agree with me that such a deadly combination doesn't permit me to be a pessimist. I'm certainly looking at it from an optimist view, because whether Corona was a triggered one or not, I'm not going to venture myself into it. But one thing is very certain, if I take that particular factor in isolation, then probably that made me sense as far as the things are concerned. To be honest, as far as Indian capital market is concerned, Corona has turned out to be a God-sent gift. It may be looking at a positive side of it. Some of you, if you have attended my sessions earlier, or if any one of you is a contributor or a subscriber, as far as my YouTube channel, Chandrashekhar Tilak is concerned, you might have witnessed my video over there. But as I have said time and again, that one thing is very clear, that as far as one thing is very concerned, we have converted Corona into the best possible thing. Just take a classic example. If you look at the calendar year 2021, that is the year wherein more than 1.35 lakh crore rupees were raised by way of a primary market, whether it is a IPO or a FPO. In addition thereto, more than 90,000 crores, this 90,000 crores were raised by the mutual fund NFOs. More than 4 crore accounts were added in a short span of 11 months as far as my trading cum demat accounts are concerned. Just see the boost as far as the market intermediaries as well as the financial services intermediaries are concerned. It is no wonder that the shares of such listed companies have zoomed up as far as these things are concerned. Because here one need to undertake a specific sociological change which has undergone as far as the Corona effect is concerned. And it is going to be a long-lasting one. As Dr. Shaileshri Hardas knows it very well, that I have discussed it with her once upon a time, that when I was associated with NSDL as a national in charge for a national pension system, and prior to that, a chief marketing or a commercial guy as far as the demat accounts were concerned, if I was able to open more than 5 lakh accounts in a year, it was treated as an achievement. Compare it to the visa for 4 crore. And most important factor which is going to strengthen henceforth, and that's why I said, whether it is a financial product or a consumer product, my country is able to sustain whatever I'm able to offer. We are in earlier phase prior to the Corona, more than 90% of the accounts which used to get open used to show a skeleton transactions. In contrast, more than 93.74% of the trading cum demat accounts opened in last 20 months are the active accounts. because whatever technical or the financial background I may come from, now I have started looking to Indian capital market in addition to my earlier requirement of a capital appreciation and dividend payout, to more adding the third factor or a facet there too of an opportunity to have a regular source of income. Under such circumstances, the client servicing, the client KYC is turning out to be the best future thereinto. But this is not the only industry which has got bifurcated thereinto. Some of you have just pushed in the factor, what they pushed in a question as far as the chat box is concerned, that what would happen if China-Taiwan war is going to be considered. I'm not pushing my another product, but I have been conducting the online trading sessions as far as the investment is concerned every Sunday for more than 2 years. And I'm very sure that, to be honest, this particular factor has already been factored in as far as the Indian capital market is concerned. If you see the policies which have been initiated as far as the Indian defense sector is concerned, it is turning out to be one of the fantastic industry to have as far as the shares are concerned. For last more than 1 year, I have been advocating that if you really wish to have a long-term as well as the short-term capital appreciation, the best way to buy the share would be of BL, that is Bharat Electronics Limited. You would have seen that is the company which has very recently informed both the stock exchanges of our country, that is BSE and NSE, that they would be offering 2 bonus shares for every single share held. My memory and my experience tells me that almost after a gap of 8 years, this is the first instance where an Indian company is offering 2 bonus shares for a single share held. Where from this particular strength is coming into? I'm not recommending any tip over here, but this is certainly going to be the trend. And such expansion of the activities, as far as my Indian national economy is concerned, is giving me this opportunity. Because when our Honorable Prime Minister announced the Atmanirbhar, subsequent to that announcement on 20th of March, then Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who happens to be the Finance Minister even today, and then Minister of State for Finance Anurag Singh Thakur, conducted every day for 5 days a detailed press conferences detailing the various packages. On a 4th day of such a press conference, from minute 39 to minute 45, he has dealt with the defense industry. If any one of you is really interested, all these 5 days press conferences are available on the websites of the Finance Ministry of Central Government ad verbatim. And there were 3 major announcements which has been made as far as the defense sector is concerned. The first major announcement was, in the next coming 5 years, that is up to 2025, because it was announced in 2020, today we are in 2022, and we are seeing the results thereof. The government made an announcement that till in the next coming 5 years, India as a country would ensure that at least 75, the word is at least 75% of my defense production would be indigenous. Announcement number 1. Announcement number 2, henceforth, for a global tender to the tune of $200 crore, all the purchases would be made by the local Indian companies. And third announcement, henceforth, defense would be meaning not only the protection of my national interest, but along with the protection of my national interest of the national border, defense would be looked upon as an economic activity. We have seen what kind of a scenario we are having since then. Just have a look at the export orders being received by Mazgaon Dock. Just have the look at the export orders being received by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Just have a look how BDL, BEL, that is Bharat Dynamics Limited, Bharat Electronics Limited, and HAL have entered into the transactions. I'm not seeing what exactly we are looking into that. But certainly, this is going to be a huge experience. Point number 1. Point number 2, you would have noticed that in the financial year, Indian primary market is concerned, when I said in calendar year 2021, we were able to collect more than 1,35,000 crores, only a single government sector company who had contributed to that, and that was Mazgaon Dock. That means it clearly shows that in the years to come, especially in 2022, and thereafter is concerned, there is every possibility that a reshaped and reorganized Indian public sector companies, maybe the star crumbs, probably LIC IPO has failed. But just imagine if it would have given an expected result, certainly this process would have been expedited so far. So at this juncture, given the scenario where government is able to garner the major resources therefrom, it seems that although IMF might have cut down my GDP expectations as far as the things are concerned, under such circumstances, various other activities can be rolled into. I'm not merely optimistic or a dreamy person. But if you look at the figures of a monthly GST collections for last so many months, you would really say, barring the minor and temporary blips, we are consistently crossing the GST figure for more than 1.4 lakh crore every month. Yes, as far as the recent past is concerned, I do agree that such an enhanced collection to the tune of touching almost 1.5 lakh crore every month is a country. There is one other side as well, as far as the last month of July is concerned. Because in the month of July, many more commodities were added as far as GST is concerned. There were the GST rates on many more commodities were enhanced. And most importantly, even otherwise, the inflation has gone up as far as the month of June and July is concerned. So my consumption levels do not dip immediately. They take some time to dip. But meanwhile, when my prices are going up, automatically GST being a price-based item, my collection goes up. But that equally shows that as far as the industrial production indices of small scale, cottage, as well as medium scale industries are concerned, it is going to give a great help. It is not only the matter of performance that has contributed as far as this scenario is concerned. There are certainly the matter of perception as well. Just now someone asked a question that as far as the digital rupee is concerned, what are my views thereinto? Probably if I start speaking on a digital rupee, either Dr. Shaileshri Haridas madam or Dr. Anuradha Pai madam will have to conduct a separate session of mine as far as the topic of digital rupee is concerned. But let me put into the shell, because after I'm a man from a capital market, so be rest assured, I have been given a time up to 7:45 and I will not exceed even by a second. And already we have started touching 7:38. So just I will give a hint as far as my views on digital rupee is concerned. It is a matter of perception. And that's why I'm including this point over, at the same time catering to the question raised by you through a chat box. Be rest assured that I'm quite hopeful. That on 15th of August 2022, so hardly 2 days hereafter, when our Honorable Prime Minister addresses the nation from the Red Fort, he may make very well announce a launch of a digital rupee, because that is going to be a game changer and a game setter. If we are really, because as far as the budget speech made by the Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on budget in Parliament on 1st of February 2022 is concerned, I can quote that sentence ad verbatim. Because I had started my career as a computer programmer, and I have spent 4 decades of my life in a digital financial service, from policy as well as in implementation. So I can make out what she is making an announcement. Just have a look at that sentence. And if I'm mistaken, you can very well verify it from the text speech. My Honorable Finance Minister has said in that day that in the Reserve Bank of India would launch a digital rupee in the coming financial year with the backing of through a blockchain system. Whenever my policy experience tells me that whenever government gives a technological indication in a policy statement, be rest assured that government is already chaired with the program. And my interaction with the banking industry, my interaction with the IT sector, and my interaction with the policy making organizations tells me that we are already ready. And that is going to be in addition to the paper currency, which I'm going to have. And digital currency is not a cryptocurrency. So on one hand, I'm initiating certain transactions which are getting into the market. So that's why a perception matter. I'm initiating a two-way taxation as far as the cryptocurrency is concerned. So certainly I'm taking away the market of another form of a digital currency. Since then, you have noticed, you must have read into the today morning's newspapers as well, whether it's an electronic form or a physical form, that 3 of the cryptocurrency exchanges are under investigation as far as 3 different indications are concerned. So their volumes would be down. So digital rupee would be a game changer, just like automation or a computerization of a trading screens of India in 1994 and 1995 is concerned. This is not only a matter of perception, or this is not a single factor of a matter of perception. Another matter of perception, many of you would have noticed already that our country has already initiated a process of a T+1 settlement. Ours is the only country who is having a T+1 kind of a settlement. And again, here a contrast. Just I will make a passing reference and go to the last point as I'm coming to a conclusion of my schedule, as far as because you might be also busy with certain other activities. I just recall those days in 1991 when I was a part and parcel of that delegation who used to make a presentation across the globe to various foreign institutional investors. And in 1991, in 1992, they were telling us that we would have invested in India, but you are having the archaic trading system spanning over 15 days of a trading cycle, followed by a 15 days of a settlement cycle. Yes, that was a fact of life. They were saying you are not having a computerized trading. And then we slowly started trading the screens with a bolt and knit. Then we moved to a depository systems. We reduced from our physical settlement to a rolling settlement, and now we were in T+2. And now when we are moving towards the T+1, now those financial institutions who were hinting or passing a bad remark about me are persuading that, boss, you and your country may be ready with a banking system. You and your country would be ready with a trading system. You and your country would be ready with a settlement system. But we at our end are not able to transfer the funds in the banking sector as you want. And especially after Corona, when Hong Kong is shrugging its responsibilities under the Chinese influence. So under that circumstances, you would have realized that especially after July 2022, now the large cap stocks are getting added to T+1. If you are making use of any trading app, as far as your market operations are concerned, you would realize that for many scripts now you are having a 3 different codes as far as the same script is concerned, because some of them are being both in T+2 as well as T+1. So the market is showing that kind of initiation, that trading opportunities are going to help. And the funds which were getting parked in a cryptocurrency, another matter of perception and performances, that is now started getting parked as far as the liquid mutual fund schemes of my country is concerned. And given a scenario, we have seen the advert trend, the upward trend as far as NFO trading in mutual funds are concerned. And last point, which I will make a mention over here, as far as Indian capital market is concerned, is the emergence of a pension products as far as Indian capital market is concerned. Till now, the foreign institutional investors in the nature of a pension funds from the countries like Russia, Australia, and especially New Zealand, and to some extent European countries and America used to be the pension fund players as far as my Indian capital market is concerned. But the huge funds collected by the pension products, especially NPS, the emergence of NPS, more than 4.6 crore accounts, more than 2 crore account getting opened under Atal Pension Yojana and others, have given a huge fulcrum to play therein. Government has started inducting more and more individual citizens as far as the NPS is concerned. The responses received by the retirement fund schemes of a mutual fund, especially Tata Retirement and HDFC, is certainly showing the good trend. And as all of us are quite aware, even otherwise, pension funds are always a long-term product. And that's why if you ask me, I would not like to venture where my BSE Sensex or NSE Nifty would be at 2025 or at 2030. If I was that brilliant, instead of spending a time on conducting such a session, I would have again fully conducted or engaged myself before the trading screens from 9:30 to 3:30. But that is not to miss away. But one thing is very sure, that if you are ready to calculate the annual rate of return under such circumstances, we would be in a huge capacity to say. So to encapsulate, I would say that as far as Indian capital market at a threshold of a 13th of August 2022 is concerned, otherwise 13 happens to be a bad number or a bad omen as far as numerology is concerned. But fortunately, it is not Friday the 13th, it is Thursday the 13th. So if I have to look at it from that particular angle, I would say in 2-3 words. First and foremost, emergence going backward in a reverse direction as far as my session is concerned. Emergence of a pension product as a long-term investor in my country is certainly going to be a positive factor as far as our things are concerned. Most importantly, the resources which I need as far as my GDP growth is concerned, I have not made this point, but I want to make it as a concluding remark as far as my session is concerned, why I am so hopeful. After all, for Indian capital market, or for that matter, capital market of any country, not only to survive, but to thrive, you need a sound and consistent economic activity. For a size of my country, where I'm heavily dependent on imports as far as gold, oil, and coal is concerned, the masterstroke which our country has brought into would start seeing the result, and that's why I'm more hopeful. You would have realized that after Afghanistan was taken over by the Taliban, and after Russia-Ukraine war started, as a geopolitical factor, America started putting a pressure on Russia. America started putting an embargo as far as the dollars with Russia were concerned. And one of the reasons they were feeling that they started putting a pressure on countries like India that they should not buy the petrol from Russia. But given expertise of our External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar, I would earnestly request all of you that whenever you are free and if you are wanted to get yourself enhanced as far as the information is concerned, do have a look at the videos of these two ministers. That tells us where my economy is moving into. And one of such minister is this External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. The way in which he speaks at international forum, we are striking more and more bargains into. His expertise and given the efficiency of my Indian financial system, we have seen that we were able to strike a deal with Russia, where Russia said that Russia is ready to give oil to our country, not only at a discounted rate, point number one, compared to the global market. Point number two, till now, Indian oil imports were at the doorsteps of the country who was supplying the oil. So logistic was my problem. But my oil deal with Russia is such where the deal is at the doorsteps of my country. So logistic is at now Russia's headache. It's not my headache. This is very important because once Taliban took control of the Afghanistan, not only the oil prices shoot up, but time taken for delivering the oil from OPEC countries to my country has to take a D route. That particular point was taken away. And most and third important factor related to digital rupiah as well over here, we said that henceforth, at least some part of my Russian oil imports, I will be making an oil import bill by way of rupee, and that too a digital rupee. And in addition thereto, Russia has agreed to accept the oil bill by way of the export of Indian goods. Just see the multifaceted impact which you will have. So if you are having the sectors of economy, which are multiple in number, which are going to get benefited, whether it is oil import, whether it is defense, whether it is the space research, whether it is the sanitation, just see the position which we have seen. The policies which we initiated against the MNC globals like Pfizer, what sort of an impact does it have as far as my pharmaceutical and healthcare services and imports are concerned? I have gone through, I have witnessed just now how many countries these alumni are connecting to the PES. So you would be in a better position to garner what I am talking into. Whether things, it would be very clear to say that as far as scenario of Indian capital market is concerned, I'm very happy, and rather I'm very positive. Happy would be a bad word to use, positive that the scenario would be good one. I'm not saying so Just because this happens to be an auspicious occasion of Alumni Reconnect, it is not that kind of a thing. It's not a positive talk, but merely the conclusions drawn by more than 3-decade-long experiences of this particular field. With these words, once again giving you the compliments and regards on this particular occasion, with your kind permission, I would like to conclude just to be in time and keeping some time as far as the question answer session is concerned. If we can start shooting the question, or otherwise I will start moving to the chat box, because there is every likelihood that I might have missed certain questions as far as the chat box is concerned. Few of them I have already done. Okay, there is last question was to have it. Yeah,
So
sure.
before we move to the last question, there is one question on this Zomato and IPO.
Okay.
Zomato, Paytm, can you express your views on modern day companies like Zomato and Paytm? If you can throw some light on that, yeah.
I will be more than happy. But one way, ma'am, let me tell right at the outset, because after all, I have worked with SEBI. So let me put a disclaimer clause. and unfortunately, I happen to be the person who have put up a first draft as far as the disclaimer clause is concerned. Okay, and it was in a lighter vein, but a reality. See, as far as the Zomato and Paytm is concerned, right from day one, once they announced their IPO, I was very sure that it is going to be a doomsayer. Let me be very clear. I may be a bit prejudiced, or my age may be responsible for that, because now I'm running 63. Just have a look at the business mix of Zomato. He is coming, when he announced an IPO and the price range, because that particular, he was having a monopoly, if not monopoly, at least the major share as far as this pickup and drop of food business is concerned. If I'm not mistaken, his prospectus make a mention somewhere in the vicinity of 78 to 80% of a business share in that industry. And that was one of the factors why he cited that price range of IPO of his engine. I failed to understand. I have been associated with NSDL. I have seen how the service delivery takes place. And especially when you are in a game of volume, you need to be more flexible with a game of margin. His pricing itself was wrong. First, his objective was wrong. He said that he is coming out with a IPO in order to cover his operating loss. My objection or the suspicion starts from this word itself. Because whenever I am using the services of a Zomato, virtually there is no question of a bad debt or an operating loss. He collects his money upfront, including a GST applicable thereon. Under such circumstances, there is something wrong with the business mix of that particular company. And just because you are having finances at your disposal, but if you are not able to take care of those particular operational losses, certainly the company is not going to have it. And that another reason you would have seen, or the version, if you want to put it that way, you would have seen that once that lock-in period, which was applicable to the anchor as well as the angel investors of Zomato, got over in the last week of June or first week of July 2022, Zomato share tanked up further. Point number one. Point number two, the business mix itself of Zomato has undergone a change after its IPO, or rather at the time of its IPO. Take a classic example, one example. There are various reasons, but because of the paucity, I would just concentrate on few salient reasons. Just see, in pre-corona days, what was basic business of a Zomato in my country? Because he has come into IPO in our country. Very clear that people like me who were associated with corporates, we were putting our lunch orders, our dinner orders with the hotels. Zomato on my behalf was picking it up and delivering it to me. In a pre-corona days, if Zomato was picking up, say, 100 parcels from a particular hotel at one point of time, 80 parcels out of those 100 used to be delivered at one commercial complexes or industrial complexes. So the geographical vicinity which Zomato was supposed to cover was much lesser. But in a work from home scenario, I may be working in for the office, but now those 80 peoples were not concentrated in a resident commercial area. They were spread across the residences. So the geography, so the logistic which was involved therein has gone for a toss. It got coincided with the sharp rise as far as petrol and oil prices are concerned. And that's why they have were in promise, because just like the Domino Pizza, they have a service or they have a product. If you don't get your pizza in 15 minutes after you order, then you have not to pay. Under such circumstances, it started putting a pressure on it. Point number one, the places of delivery went for a toss. Point number two, oil and petrol prices decided. Point number three, my operating methodology was wrong and I was not able to sustain, because these problems were faced by many other companies. But during the same phase, a company like CCD, Cafe Coffee Day, which has gone for a toss, but that madam who took over the charge from her deceased husband, she virtually changed the dynamics as far as CCD is concerned. PESU is located in Bangalore, so I have not to elaborate it further as far as CCD is concerned. So unless and until you are curious, and Zomato has failed on all these things. Why Paytm failed? Because the cryptocurrency, digital currencies have undergone a change. In fact, after this digital rupaya, GPay and other things, people have started using it in a much better fashion, and they were shrunk of a business. And that's why I would have seen not only Paytm, but an entire sector called Payment Finance Bank has gone for a toss in our country. I hope I have already done it. How should I source a good capital for my startup and not?
Sir, before that, so sorry.
Huh.
Before that, I have received a lot of messages on my personal window also. We have Vidya. She really wants to ask one question. I mean, if you can take it from her.
Sure, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
Sorry. Yeah,
No issues. Why? Sorry, any question. Because we have to fit into that schedule. So whatever question you recommend, I have no issues.
All right, all right. Yeah, over to you, Vidya. Please go ahead. Can you
Hello,
unmute?
sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. I'm Vidya. My question is to you is, what is your take on capital market investment across borders? Would you recommend it?
100% I would recommend it. But be selective thereinto. What I mean, I will tell you. I was expecting this kind of a question, and that's why, as far as those perception and flows were concerned, I was to cover this point, but I restrained myself. If I have understood your question correctly, probably you are hinting at emergence of one particular segment as far as our Indian capital market is concerned. Till now, foreign individual investors or foreign institutional investors staying in their respective countries were able to invest in my country. Last 2 or 3 years have given me a window. That window was not available to me as an Indian resident Indian individual investor over here. But now, by sitting at my home, paying my broker in Indian rupee, I am able to buy the shares of American companies, even in a fraction, or I am able to invest in mutual funds or companies which are listed on foreign stock exchanges. In fact, mutual funds like Motilal Oswal, Parag Parikh, Invesco, Mirai are giving me the schemes which are concentrating only on investing in those countries. So 101%, I am recommending those kinds of investment if you are comfortable and clear as far as those companies which you are buying into or the funds which you are buying into. Only because, see, under such circumstances, one factor only need to be borne in mind very clearly. Just taking an example, that if I'm staying in India and I'm buying an American company, under such circumstances, when I am buying and selling into the shares of a company listed in America, whatever gain I am gaining into is combination of 2 factors. First natural factor is difference between a buying rate and a selling rate. The second factor, although willy-nilly I factor in, but I never actively consider that, would be the conversion rate between the rupee and the dollar. So it would, and you would agree with me that when it comes to a conversion, and that too at a consistent rate, at a consistent frequency, under such circumstances, the political factors come into play, because under any circumstance, any rate conversion or a currency conversion rate is more a political game than a eco-political game. If you are ready to discount that, and if you are shrewd enough to do it, certainly there is no harm as far as the foreign investments are concerned in that sense, point number 1. Point number 2, but besides this geopolitical or political factor, you have to be very considerate which companies you are selecting into. Because someone has asked a question right in the beginning that whether I should go for a penny stock, was 101% not. And penny stocks are not only in my country, penny stocks are in other countries as well. Point number 1. Point number 2, Somehow, to some extent, at least I am very much aware what sort of a penny, what sort of a stock which I'm trading into my country is concerned. I may not be that conversant with the factor over there. So if you are investing in other countries, let us have a selected basket of scripts or a selected basket of schemes, and and take care that you are really operating through a registered market intermediary for that effect. If you are able to exercise those precautions, there is no harm at all. And do not concentrate your entire foreign investment in a single country. Otherwise, you may turn out to be another software company garnering a business only from a selected companies. So let us have a look at those. And number one. Number two, if you are investing into the international securities, either it should be the equity directly or through the mutual funds. Please do not invest, at least to start with, in interest-bearing documents or the instruments as far as the foreign companies or the foreign investment opportunities are concerned. Otherwise, I am very positive. There is no harm in it.
We'll have one last question from Dhanush, because I have received a lot of questions from him. Dhanush, you can ask just one question, please.
Yeah.
Are you there, Dhanush?
I think he was there. I saw his name somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he has
he has asked me a lot of questions.
He has put up his hand as well when I was replying to Vidya Madam's question.
Okay.
He might have disconnected. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
At least I'm not able to see his name now on the screen.
Yes. I think lots of questions have come up in the chat box. I think we'll have to send it to Tilak sir for getting it answered, because due to paucity of time, we may not be able to take all of them.
Yes, someone has put up a hand. Some OnePlus Nord might be his name.
Yes, Dhanush, is it?
That might be
you?
his screen name.
Good evening, sir. My name is Dhanush.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my question for you is, are mutual funds plans killing the existence of the equity capital direct connect?
Not at all. Not at all. Because after all, just see, the nature of a player may undergo a change. After all, even if mutual fund collects some money from me, which otherwise I would have invested in equity, mutual fund as equally has to invest somewhere, na? And one of the instrument is equity, and no one can ignore equity. Only thing is combination and in nature of an investor would undergo change. And if you are under the impression that if the asset under management being garnered by mutual funds is going to increase, it may have some negative impact as far as the direct equity culture is concerned. Temporarily to some extent, yes. Permanently, no. Why I said temporarily is you would realize that there are certain periods where mutual fund come heavily with NFO, or primary market come with very consistent frequency in the market. Under such circumstances, the investable surplus available with me as an individual investor is always limited. So whenever I'm investing into the equity market directly, or when a mutual fund kind of a scheme, to that extent, during that particular week or so, my flow towards the equity market would go up, but that is not going to make it. I'll give you an example. See, many of us are the taxpayers now because you are alumni. And generally, at our age or at this particular era, these tax saving schemes being issued by mutual funds are quite popular with us. And although we can invest right from 1st of April till 31st of March as far as tax related instruments are concerned, the popular time is from 15th of February to 15th of March. So you would have seen that the such circumstances, the funds flowing from individual investors to market is down. But after the phase of a 15th March, we go back to that period. When any major IPO takes place, say just like LIC, during that phase, the market goes down. But another impact or another factor which need to be considered is whenever mutual funds are there, they ensure that market it as a higher level. Otherwise, I will not invest in mutual fund and they will not get a good return there. Why this particular thing happens is that whenever mutual fund collects the money from me, there are SEBI regulations that they say that once they have collected a money from me, under a particular time zone, they have to invest. If it is a liquid, it would be in GSEC, it would be in, if it is a balance, it would be in GSEC as well as in equity. And if it is growth or a particular sector specific, it would be in that. But this is a very temporary phase. If you ask me, As far as my last 35 years of experience is concerned, it is in fact suggesting me that if person gets used to a mutual fund kind of a thing, his intentions to invest directly into equity grows up. So it's a passing phase. If you are starting in a mutual fund, and if I have initiated earlier, I may move from mutual fund to equity, and this particular process goes on. And they complement each other. They never compete with each other, because there are different sectors of investments and there are different sectors of investors. And this particular play or a current, cross current, undercurrent always goes up. In conclusion, I will say, I don't foresee any possibility, at least for next 25 years, where the mutual fund industry would curtail the direct equity culture. That does happen. I know where from this question is coming, because just now someone was, I think Vidya madam was asking a question on foreign, and I was talking about America. I'm very much aware you are asking this question because it has a connotation with that question as well. As far as American capital market is concerned, it is dominated by mutual fund industry. And very rarely a common American citizen directly go to the equity market and buy and sell, just we do, because they are having thousands of mutual fund and they are having more than 1 lakh of schemes running at a point of time.
True.
Our mutual fund industry is comparatively nascent. So in order to happen that, our mutual fund industry has to grow, and it will take some more time to do.
Very correctly said, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I really don't have any words to express my satisfaction. You are the ocean of knowledge. I mean, we should give you 3 days and 3 nights to talk on the capital market and to talk further. And
My pleasure and honor.
looking
And
forward
I will
to having
suggest all of you to give your free and frank feedback, because connecting, comprising this, consisting this particular entire topic in 30-35 minutes was really a marathon for me. But thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity, and feel free to give your free and frank feedback to Hardas madam or Pai madam. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you so much.
That too from different time zones. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my dear alumni, please block your calendar as far as 27th of August is considered. We have the sports event planned only for the alumni here, which starts from 8 in the morning, and we have many activities and many events starting with indoor and outdoor and all those things. We're planning some sort of alumni premium league or something, like we are looking forward to have more number in the campus, so that we will be in a position to enjoy along with all the alumni on the other side. Sir, you were mentioning about the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar ji. Happy to share with you that we will be hosting the External Affairs Minister tomorrow in our campus.
Great.
So
now it is an experience to listen to him. The way in which he replies, it itself an object lesson how one should communicate. Leave aside the points which you make. A thorough gentleman to have. Very nice. Is it online or in person?
It is in person, sir. He will be in the campus tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Prasajay. Hold on. Hold on for a minute. Ajay.
Okay. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you again, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here. And also a message to all the alumni who turned up in a good number. Please give us your feedback on the kind of sessions you want us to hold. And if anybody has any other questions or anything like that, and if you need to bring Mr. Tilak back, we'll try to request him to do so also. So again, thank you very much. And more important for the alumni to participate and give us a feedback on what you think of the session, what you'd like to do, and so on and so forth. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Professor Pai.
Yes. So that was indeed a very insightful session. So many questions had it flooded in the chat box, which will be definitely sending towards Tilak sir for getting his feedback. And thank you all the alumni for joining us and posting so many questions, for your enthusiastic participation. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Registrar, Dr. K. Sridhar sir, for his support throughout all our endeavors, be it alumni, be it anything that happens in PES. As you can see, please reach out to us on all our social media handles of PESU University Alumni, which you can see on your screen. Also, we are indeed looking forward to your very frank feedback on the session, so that as Ajoy sir and Haridas ma'am pointed out, so that we can organize future sessions of this kind. So kindly scan the QR code and let us know what your feedback is for this current session. And as both of them and all of us have been constantly reminding you that 27th August is the day that we are looking forward to your wholehearted participation for the PESU APL, which is going to be a mega event only if you participate. So please come, please bring your friends, please bring your family members. Please make this a successful event with your gracious presence. That's all from my side. Kindly scan the QR code for your feedback. And that's all from my side. A very good night to all of you. Thank you. We close here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you all on 27th. Thank you so much.